for anybody. Pretty informal today, so feel free to grab a seat, and we're going to start in just a minute.
Whoa. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the ribbon cutting ceremony for our refurbished North Stonington Elementary School. It is a very exciting day, and thank you so much for coming and joining us. We're going to begin our celebration with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you could please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I have heavy scissors. Okay. The reopening of the North Stonington Elementary School is a very exciting moment for all of you as citizens, as well as our faculty, staff, and students. And I have to say, it's been a long time coming. To give you an idea of how long the town has worked on building this project, building project, at the very first board meeting I attended when I was hired, several architectural companies gave plans for our school system. And actually Rusty was there. Well, this is my 16th year as principal of North Stonington Elementary School, and we finally have our new school. We are grateful to the townspeople, the Board of Ed, the School Modernization Committee, and many, many more for working so hard to bring us the ceremony and the reopening of North Stonington Elementary School. I also want to give a very special thank you to the North Stonington PTO and the amazing playground year-round committee for raising funds to build 2 new statement playscapes for our students. As the elementary school had many problems along the way, one just being the PCDs that closed classrooms at the start of the 17-18 school year. This forced us to move the music class to the 2nd and 3rd grade hallway, the library to an office, the math specialist teaching in a closet, the social worker on the stage with the band, sharing times of course, and many, many more moves throughout the building. During the construction phase, we were moved to the old Wheeler Middle School High School that provided its own little problems, mostly the size of the school and our smallest students walking long, long ways to get anywhere. No matter what, our students kept learning and they were happy to come to school. I would like to recognize and thank the faculty and staff for their dedication and the love of our students. No matter how difficult it became, they continually provided the very best in education. Throughout it all, I am extremely proud to say that North Stonington Elementary School was ranked 28th out of 522 elementary schools in Connecticut based on the last SBAC state testing given to our students. And we have been recognized twice as a school of distinction from the state. It is a true credit to our staff and our families, as well as the students. We are not too sure what this year is going to bring, and we've been working feverishly to get our new building ready. But one thing we promise, it is our primary goals this year to keep the children of North Stonington Elementary School safe and learning every day, whether they are in our beautiful new school or learning from home. We cannot wait for the day our world becomes healthy and all of you can visit us. Thank you again to all of you. I would like to now introduce the chairman of the School Modernization Committee, Pam Patemry.
Good afternoon, and thank you for coming out on such a beautiful and exciting day to share this very special occasion for our town. I want to start by welcoming Senator Summers, Representative Rotella, our selectmen and selectwomen, the Board of Finance, my fellow Board of Education members, my fellow School Modernization Building Committee members, Superintendent Nero and his administrative leadership team, students, faculty, guests, and most importantly, the citizens of North Stonington. I've had the honor of serving in several different roles throughout the life of this vital project. As the chair of the School Modernization Building Committee, as a member of the Board of Education, as a fellow educator and school administrator, and as a proud parent and taxpayer in our town. I stand here both humbled at the opportunity I've been given to serve in all of these capacities and grateful to be presenting you with the completion of the largest project our town has undertaken. When I began serving as a member of the School Modernization Committee, this day seemed like so far away, and I can't believe it's actually here. As a community, we have so many people to thank, and I only hope that everyone who made this possible feels the gratitude, the genuine gratitude I wish to express on behalf of our children. First, I'd like to thank all of the members of the original School Ad Hoc School Committee. All of your work paved the way for the School Modernization Committee, and we acknowledge and appreciate your efforts. As the chair of the School Modernization Building Committee, I want to personally thank my fellow committee members. As I say your name, if you could please stand. Namely, Vice Chair Sam Sherenzia, Mike Anderson, Walt Mathwich, Dave Sellens, Dan Spring, Mark Perkins, Jay Peterson, Alice Seaman, and very importantly, our Secretary Karen Joyle for the countless hours spent ensuring that our educational facilities incorporated many of the requests of the teachers and students respected the financial commitment of the town taxpayers with accountability and transparency, and honored the long history of Wheeler Pride. We did our best to give our community the best educational facilities for our children today and for generations of Wheeler families to come, and it was an honor to serve on this committee with you. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank each of our selectmen and selectwomen individually for your vision, leadership, and support. A sincere thank you to Selectman Bob Carlson, who previously served on the School Modernization Committee, to Selectwoman Nita Kincaid, who has consistently and unwaveringly supported education in our town, and to our first Selectman, Mike Ergo, the former School Modernization Chair, for your tireless efforts and dedication to the progress of this town. Throughout this process, I've come to appreciate the people who make our schools a true community of excellence in teaching and learning. Thank you to Superintendent Nero, our administrators, all of our educators, and the incredible support staff for your obvious dedication to the students and families we serve. I assure you that every consideration for your work was factored into our decision-making with both respect and thoughtfulness. I'd like to especially thank the facilities, maintenance, and technology staff for working so collaboratively with our team and really going above and beyond to make this day possible. This has not been an easy process, as you all have heard, and the commitment of everyone involved was truly inspiring. Finally, I'd like to express a sincere appreciation to our architect, Rusty Malik, and his team from QA&M, and Downs Construction Manager, Steve Smith, and his team. Rusty, Carson, Steve, and G, a special thank you for all of your perseverance, dedication, and patience as you guided us through this process. In closing, I feel, although I feel it's probably more appropriate for our team to presenting Rusty and his team with a gift marking the completion of this project after over a decade of work, as Ronnie has shared, I want to make mention that QA&M has gifted to the students an engraving proudly supporting the signature of historical Wheeler Pride in the back on that rock back there. On behalf of our town, thank you for this beautiful rock of dedication which now marks the completion of this project. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce Superintendent Nero.
I'd like to welcome everyone that came in as well, and also I think I saw Nick Mullane somewhere here. Nick, nice to have you with us today. So I was interviewed for my position not 16 years ago, but 9 years ago, back in the gymatorium when it was just a gymatorium. And I remember that it was priority of the Board of Education that we would build or renovate the Wheeler High School, which was across the street. The elementary school wasn't even part of the discussion, but they said this was going to be important. So in 2016, I began to write my first speech because I thought we'd have a building project by then. And then I had to revise it to 2017. And then by 2018, I came up with 7 years ago. We finally got it done. And despite everything, and here we are with face masks on, and who thought that would happen? So I'm just going to say some brief words. In my 46 years as a public educator, I have been involved in a number of school building projects, and I can unequivocally state that never has any one of them been as important as these, the middle high school and now the elementary school. I want to personally and professionally express my gratitude and that of the district to the School Modernization Committee, the town boards and commissions, Creasenberry, Atari, and Malik, LLC Architecture, Downs Construction, the Town Highway Department and Technology Departments, and especially the district's technology, custodial, and maintenance staff, our teachers and staff and administrators for all their hard work, the positive energies that helped to make this possible. Tomorrow, our students will begin school in a state-of-the-art facility. Given COVID-19 pandemic, it's incredibly timely that we have these safe buildings to return to, which feature climate control and ventilation, unlike the old buildings. We are incredibly appreciative and thankful to the entire town and the taxpayers for supporting this important endeavor. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to introduce the first selectman, Mike Irvine.
Thank you, Mr. Noonan. Thank you everyone again for being here today on this really special occasion. Thank you Representative Rotella and Senator Summers and former longtime First Selectman Mick Mullane for being here. You know, as this project kind of drew to a close, thinking about today's celebration, I was thinking back to some of my memories here, you know, as a parent at North Stonington Elementary School, and I think so many of you have so many memories. You know, I remember when my son and daughter were starting here, going to the ice cream social. You know, as things started out, they're in the back now, middle and high school students, but to meet other kids and teachers, and for us that was very special because it was 13 years ago. We just moved to town and really didn't know anybody at the time here, so it was a really warm welcome for all the new families whose kids were starting out on their educational journey. I remember the many celebrations, whether it was the Flag Day, which is one of my favorites, and I know Miss Wilkinson's favorite as well, the art show, the concerts, the technology days, having the opportunity to be the mystery reader in the class. Some of you have had that opportunity here as well. I remember building like a house in, like, I think it was the first grade or kindergarten with the kids, with some other parents. And these are memories that I have, and the memories that a lot of the parents will have as they enter this new year, although maybe a little bit differently. It's crazy to think that really this nearly didn't happen. There were so many obstacles and hurdles that stood in the way of this project, as Mr. Nero talked a little bit about. I remember back in 2014 feeling incredibly deflated as the town had rejected a second opportunity to vote in favor of school renovation. Everyone involved knew the work that needed to be done and that we just couldn't ignore the issues that were happening here. The years following would be back to the drawing board in many meetings investigating what to do to fix our issues. Around 150 or so meetings have taken place, including the ad hoc building committee, the school modernization committee, the tri-board, and other public meetings to discuss this project. And more than a few obstacles almost sunk us along the way, really. Petitions questioning the project, sending it to revote, extensive work that was unanticipated to make sure we had a clean and safe schools and nearly busted our budget. But we persevered. And sitting here with masks on today is just another example of the perseverance that we're continuing to go through here. The investment in these schools was a turning point for our town. Before we did this, we were heading down the path of a bedroom community. We had declining enrollment and an aging population. The renovation of these facilities really breathed new life into our community and showed everyone thinking about planting roots in North Stonington that we care about our town. Had we not made this investment and decision 4 years ago, we'd be in a much different community today. With all that being said, we could have never known back then how much this renovation really was needed. But we knew the buildings and environmental concerns were, and we had some outdated facilities, we knew that, but we never knew at the time we'd have COVID-19, and that having state-of-the-art climate control and air filtration would be so paramount. We have all this now. We have sprinklers. We have a safe, secure vestibule for our precious kids' safety. Our gym floor is no longer concrete. It won't hurt so bad to fall on. So hopefully less broken bones. Hopefully none. Our multi-purpose room won't have to be so multi-purpose with a separate cafeteria now. This was hard work, and many times it was not only hard and time-consuming, but it was also demanding to stand up what was right for the community. Many people did that, and that's not easy to do sometimes. I need to thank a few of them now. There are probably too many to list, and I apologize in advance if I missed anybody. But everyone should have gotten a program. If you didn't, there's still some at the back. Take a look at those, and all those people that are in there put a lot of heart and soul into this, so please thank them if you see them. I'd like to first thank the Board of Selectmen. I want to thank Bob Carlson and Nita Kincaid. Nita, who's here today, Bob, who had a previous obligation, couldn't join us, but they supported this project from day one and never wavered, no matter how difficult things became. Bob, having served as the Board of Ed Chair and one of the co-chairs of the Tri-Board, which got us here, and Nita always working tirelessly to make sure the town was aware of all happenings and the communication was strong. I want to thank the USDA, Norm and Frank, who couldn't make it today, but really helped us with some additional oversight on the project and a very attractive 2 3/4% interest rate to make this an affordable project for our town. I'd like to thank the Board of Finance and specifically Dan Spring, who is here. Dan, thank you so much. Dan's financial acumen and vision for the town were paramount on us moving this project forward. It was through good stewardship of our boards of finance that we're in a position to afford this. And Dan, your contributions can't be understated, so thank you. Superintendent Nero, I want to thank you for your expertise and leadership through some very difficult times. Whether it was the crazy mid-year move or dealing with the EPA, we were lucky to have your level head most of the time. We had, that's right. We had many an argument in these meetings, but our intention and vision was always the same, with the same goal being the best we could do for our students and staff. So, thank you. Christine Dias, our town admin finance director, working even right now, recording this for the town. She came in as things were underway and really took over, making sure we stayed on track with the finances and being sure that our contractors were getting paid timely, which I'm sure they appreciate, and the money was flowing for us to stay on time and on budget. I'd like to thank Juliet, Tim, and Cheryl, our land use team. They were flexible and accommodating as the project continued and were exceptionally helpful when we needed them most. I'd like to thank George Brennan and Chief Steinhardt and the North Stonington Volunteer Fire Company. They're always looking out for the safety of our students and the building construction as it moved forward. We thank them for their continued oversight and help. Last year we had remarks at the middle school, high school ribbon cutting from then class president Gracie Anderson. Gracie was incredibly helpful in the communication efforts, with the town often working with me on projects to help make sure we were doing our best to keep the public informed on all happenings. As a middle school student, she helped tremendously putting a video together showing the need of the community for these schools, and that effort was crucial in seeing the vote for this project pass. Gracie's at college right now, but I know she'd be here if she wasn't, and she was awesome. I want to thank Donnie Hill, Joe Rubino, and the entire highway crew for always putting in the extra effort with no questions asked when it comes to work needed here. They just do a great job. And also Guy Boucher, Greg Pont, and Gabe Bryant for hustling here at the end to make it happen with all the technology and all the facilities. It's just been so much. But I always heard stories in the from folks in the past about how difficult projects are and how many times they hadn't gone well in the past in this town. The success of this project is the success of any project is dependent upon the team that you select. And the School Modernization Committee did a stellar job selecting a top-notch team. Travis, Giovanni, Anthony, Tom, Paul, and Steve from Downs Constructions just plain got it done. While we had more than a few unforeseen obstacles through the project, they maintained their professionalism and found a way. From the very beginning, working with Paul and putting the numbers together for this project, we knew we had the right guys to manage it. In these schools, we successfully built one of the most affordable and best projects the state has seen from a square footage basis. Paul helped us to do that. He really helped us at the beginning with crafting all the numbers and coming up with the great ideas to find a way to do this within the budget we had. Tom carried us through. Tom's here, back there. Tom carried us through when Paul retired. And Giovanni handled the day-to-day, making sure the details were right, and when there were issues, we tackled them quickly. With support from Travis and then Anthony, we found our way to the finish line, with Steve leading the charge. Steve's back there. Steve, I know this wasn't an easy one sometimes. We're forever grateful for the time and effort you put into this, so thank you. Yes, that's what we're on for. Before we ever even heard of Downs Construction, North Stonington was incredibly fortunate to have found a partner to help us come up with the design for this project. And they've been thanked a couple of times, but I've got to mention Queensbury, Arcari, and Malik, who've been fixtures in our community, as Ms. Wilkinson said, for well over a decade. They worked with prior committees to come up with all different solutions to meet the needs of our town. And when things failed initially, they didn't give up. They stayed with us, and they really worked for meager payment in those early years, with no guarantee of being selected as the final architect for the project. Luckily, once again, our School Modernization Committee, through their rigorous rankings process, got it right and kept QA&M on to design the buildings. They were humble when new ideas were brought forth, flexible on solutions, and never complained about the many extra meetings, and I don't even think they ever charged us for any of them. I want to thank Adam, who's not with QA&M anymore, Carson, who's here, back there, and Rusty, who I've worked with many professionals in all sorts of projects and initiatives, and Rusty is one of the best men I've had a chance to know. He cared about our community, though he didn't live here, and it shined through in he and his team's work. Thank you, Rusty, for your work. And thank you for the engraving of that beautiful rock out there for the town to see for all the years to come. I've got to thank our fearless leader, Dr. Pamela Patemry. When I was elected and had to step aside, she stepped up and never looked back. Her experience as an educator with budgets was priceless through this process, and she too never complained about the many extra meetings. She worked to keep the committee and this community informed and performed incredibly when we were surprised with a revote on this project. Many people don't know that we met weekly and many times, several times per week, to keep things moving along. She and I both know at times it was a full-time job just staying on top of all the moving pieces. The community owes you deeply, Pam. Thank you to you and your family for your hard work and sacrifice. I'd like to finally thank my wife, Jen, and my kids, Michael and Abby in the back there, who've lived this project for the last many years. I can't thank you enough for your flexibility and support through everything, so thank you. With that, we would like to now give the keys to the car to our kids, or really our teachers for our kids, right? Ms. Wilkinson, we hope you and your staff find the tools you need here to help you match the exemplary education you are already providing to our littlest ones. The team deserves the best, and now you have it. Let's mark today the beginning of a new and improved Wheeler campus. Pam, let's cut this ribbon and let's get the School Modernization Committee up here to cut it, except what? The video can be running. And we have a virtual tour, which obviously we've already cleaned the building for the kids coming in tomorrow, so no one's going to be going through the building. We do look forward to having everyone in the building once COVID is behind us. But enjoy this here. Video, it'll run on a loop. You can watch it a few times to see a lot of the really special spaces in the school. And shall we cut? Let's have the committee come up here to cut the ribbon. Come on up, School Modernization Committee. Come right up in the front here, guys. Right up in the front. Slide right up in the front.